Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shatter the Pattern. We're going to change the old story if you're ready for it. Not everyone's actually ready to change the story, but some people are. And I really hope today that is you. So welcome to Shatter the Pattern. This is going to be a 45-minute masterclass with Matt and I. I'll be bringing Matt on very shortly. And I'm so excited about today, truly, because hands down, if you want to improve your life, you are going to have to change your pattern. You're going to have to change your programming. And I have been very, very fortunate. Both Matt and myself have been very blessed to have one of the greatest mentors in the world in teaching us how to change our programming to create more financial prosperity, more happiness, more abundance, more love, more connection, more freedom, fulfillment, and create a career that we love, earning what we love. And we want to help you do the same. So if you're really ready to do this, then I would highly suggest that you put down the things that you're doing, because this isn't just something you hear. It's not like a podcast in the background while you're cooking. This is something you focus on. This is something that can seriously change your life if you're ready, okay? And you know when you're ready because your desire is there. Your desire to improve your life is there. And I'm going to share with you a story, a personal story. I grew up with an environment that I would say was not necessarily conducive to creating a lot of prosperity in many areas. However, bit by bit, I changed patterns. And a lot of these patterns I did unconsciously. And a lot of these patterns I then did consciously. See, I had challenges when I was in my 20s to changing the financial pattern and career pattern, but I had successfully changed a lot of health patterns. And so what Matt and I have done is we have come together and we have looked at the key elements of what it takes for anybody to change a pattern. I don't care what it is right now. It doesn't matter what your circumstance is right now, whether it's financial, whether it's relationship, whether it's career, whatever it is, I'm going to tell you, you can change it. Doesn't matter what's happened in your past, and it doesn't matter where you grew up. Doesn't matter how you grew up. You have an opportunity right now to change that. Is it going to change in these 45 minutes? No, but you can be open to changing it. You can make a decision within the next 45 minutes that literally changes the trajectory of your life. Now, if you've been trying to change some patterns in your life and you go forward and you go back and you go forward and you go back, and year after year, you are in the exact same spot as you were, then the pattern hasn't changed yet. Now, that's where I was. That's where Matt was in 2014. We were trying, we had ideas, we were acting on ideas to improve our financial situation, more time freedom. A lot of people just want a lot more time and financial freedom. And I'm sure many of you do. That's where we were. And it wasn't until we got a mentor. It wasn't until we made a decision, because what we were doing just wasn't working. We were doing great with health, but with other areas, it wasn't working because we were not aware of what to do and how to change it. Now, once we got the right direction, everything just took off. Within 3 months, Matt left his career, a generational pattern of being someone who uses their hands to earn money, like a laborer, like a plumber, like an electrician, right? Using their hands, to being a professional, speaking in front of hundreds, actually thousands of individuals around the world, right? So that's a huge shift in a self-identity, in an image. 3 months is not a very long time to change industry, right? And not only do that, excel within the first 12 months, right? So you can change anything, whether you're down and out as a parent looking after your kids and you have a dream of having a successful 6-7 figure company, you can do that. and we are going to show you how. So get excited, get your pen, your notepad, and more importantly, listen to learn. Don't listen just to gather information. Listen to learn, listen to transform, listen to change your life, because you are one decision away today from skyrocketing the quality of your life, where the generations after you can benefit from the decision that you have made to go for it, to change it, and to go all in with altering the pattern. Matt, over to you. Welcome.
It's great to be here with you all. I'm really excited for this. This is when we were coming up with this session today, and we're thinking of how we can help you. There's so many people. We're speaking to thousands of people over the last 8.5 years who've wanted help in their life, and there's reoccurring things that we see that are common amongst all people, as well as within ourselves. And we have intentionally designed the next 45 minutes for you guys to really help you make huge breakthroughs if you're ready for it. The key thing is that you have to be open and ready to make the changes. And when we came up with the name Shatter the Pattern, it was something that I got really, really excited about, because there are reoccurring, like you may look throughout your life right now in the different areas of your life, there may be something, a result that keeps happening over and over and over again. It's this pattern that keeps showing up. Maybe it's in your finances. You might save a little bit, and then before you know it, you're back at zero, or you're struggling again financially. Or it might be with your health. You get fit and healthy, and then all of a sudden something happens and you're back where you were before. Look throughout your life. It could be your business. There are patterns that are happening that you may be over with. Like, you're done with these patterns. These patterns have just been happening for too long now, and enough is enough. And that's really where Nat and I were in December 2014, when we looked, we're going through a few things, not just in one area. There's actually a few areas of life where there's a few spot fires that we're constantly trying to put out. Financial was one of them. And we were like, enough's enough. Like, we've been trying on our own. We're watching all the YouTube videos, watching, reading self-help books, Think and Grow Rich, and, motivating things. And we weren't making the progress. The pattern was just reoccurring, and we didn't know why. And when we came across Bob Proctor's material, he helped us to start opening up as to, hang on a sec, maybe this is the reason why there is this pattern. Okay. And we didn't call it a pattern back then. Okay. But maybe this is why we're stuck. Maybe this is why we can't get ahead financially. Maybe this is why, our relationship is feeling a little bit stuck at the moment. And so what we learned when we went and saw Bob Proctor completely changed our thinking. It was like Bob ripped our head off our shoulders, shook it around and put it back on. And we were so inspired and had such a huge impact that we wanted to share this information with other people, as well as go deeper into it ourselves. And so we obviously became consultants. But as Nat and I were preparing this event, we were thinking of, okay, what are the key things that we did that helped us to change this pattern that was reoccurring for so long within such a short period of time? Like Nat said, within 3 months, I had changed career. A career that I was in for 11 years, I changed it in 3 months. I was full-time, a coach and a consultant all of a sudden, right? It went very, very quickly. It doesn't mean it was easy, but I was able to break that pattern. Now, by the end of our first year, we're one of the top 5 consultants in a whole new industry that we knew nothing about a year ago. We're one of the top 5 in the whole world for the Proctor Gallagher Institute, okay? And so we broke it down into 5 key things that anyone can implement to make a huge shift in the current repeating pattern that they're experiencing in their life. So number one thing that you want to really recognize is, what is that pattern? What is the pattern that's recurring in my life? What is one thing that if I could change, it will make the biggest difference for me now? Maybe it's your finances. Okay, maybe getting ahead a little bit is going to help you to relax, maybe help you to enjoy more time with your partner. You have to recognize, because you know what your results are, and say, okay, what is the one pattern that I would love to change right now? What I'm sick and tired of repeating these results, and I'm ready to change. And you're ready to draw a line. Okay. And so this is going to be something that you want more than anything else right now. More than absolutely anything else. Okay. And I want you to write that down. If you've got a notepad in front of you right now, write it down. The one thing that you are going to change. You didn't care what you have to do, but you were going to change that. Okay, enough's enough. And so the first key thing that you must have if you're going to change this pattern is desire. Desire is absolutely essential. You are not going to change with a lukewarm heart. You are not going to change by being interested in changing. There's a great quote by Dr. Kenneth Blanchard. He said, there's a big difference between being interested and being committed. When we're interested, we do what's convenient. When we're committed, we do whatever it takes to accept only results, not excuses. And that's where we have to be. You have to be absolutely committed to this one thing, and you have to have that burning desire for the thing that you're wanting to create in your life. So you're going to really be ready to move mountains if you have to move the mountain. Okay, but there is a mountain within you. It's not a mountain outside of you that you have to change. There's a mountain within you. And it's not even that hard to overcome when you have the right tools. And the first key, like I said, is a burning desire to move it. Okay, you can change and create results, absolutely completely new results in any area of your life. I don't care what it is that you've created up until this point. You could have been absolute failure in business, and you can create a hugely successful business. You could have been really poor in your financial situation, and you can create wealth in your financial situation. You could be very average in your career, and you can become a hotshot in your career. I've seen people that have been in their industry for 10 years, and within a 6-month period, multiply their income by 5 times. I've seen someone who was in their business for years, creating mediocre results, and within 3 months, multiply their income by 15 times in 3 months. Huge quantum leaps, okay? It doesn't matter what it is. I've seen people transform their health. Someone who'd been working out, every single day, dieting, eating the right food, and they weren't making any progress with releasing weight. And within 10 weeks, they released 10 kilos by making these shifts. It doesn't matter what the results are right now. We're not concerned about that. What we're concerned about is, what do you want more than anything else? We got to lock into that idea, lock into that image, lock into that goal, and we have to internalize that on a subconscious level. This is going to be something that emotionally you are connected to. If there is no emotional connection, it stays an intellectual idea. Before you know it, it's faded away. Things might improve, or you get comfortable with where things are. You know what? Today I'm not going to go to the gym. Or today, you know what? I'm going to have a cheat day. I'm going to eat that junk food, whatever it is. You know what? Today, I'm not going to call the people that I need to call to grow my business. Okay. We have to be really, really connected to that result. Okay. But also be disconnected in the terms of, not married to it in the sense of, we need this to happen today. It's not coming from a needy energy. It's like, this is what I will do. It's this committed decision that this is who I'll become, and this is what I'm going to create for myself and my family. Okay. If your motivation is your family. Okay. Desire is absolutely essential. Without desire, you will not change. Okay. If you change a little bit, you will revert back to your old habit patterns. Okay. And that is what we are working on changing. Did you want to add anything to that, Nat, in terms of desire?
It is the key elixir to any changing pattern. And you touched on something so powerful. You said it didn't mean it was easy for you to change your career in 3 months. It didn't mean that it was easy for you to shift that, or it was easy for that person to release the 10 kilos. Why? Because you're dealing with pattern. And when it's a pattern, it's that path of least resistance in the brain. It's that thought that's talking to you. It's those habits that seem easier. And we call them tapping out. When you know that one thing is going to improve your life, but you choose to go back to that old version of you that did that same thing, in that moment, you tapped out. And that desire has to be greater than the excuses. The desire has to far outweigh the opinions of others. Your desire has to far outweigh those limiting thoughts, that limiting talk that's going on. And I do want to add one key thing. In order for you to shatter the pattern, you do need to take full responsibility. The victim mindset can only be broken with a decision that you are going to change it. right? You have to go from blaming your parents, blaming the environment, blaming your spouse, blaming the parents of the people you work with, whatever the excuse is. The blaming has to stop, including blaming yourself. You have to take full responsibility and understand any moment is a new moment, is a starting point to change. And desire is that fuel. You know, there's a lot of people in this world. There's like 8 billion people and growing. But how many have the fire in the belly that moves mountains? You can be one of them. I wasn't one of them. You can become one of them. You have to want something so much that the idea of not having it, you can't handle, because you know that you've been put here for great reason. There is greatness inside of you. You have gifts, you have talents. And I don't know about you, but there's nothing worse than knowing that I lived a life in a body and I didn't give it all I had. I didn't choose to become the best version of me, the most abundant version. You know, and a lot of you are dealing with lack programming as well, where there's this guilt to want more money. There's this guilt to want to do better. You feel like you're going to leave people behind if you improve. You feel like people are going to laugh at you if you talk about wanting to become wealthy. Well, here's the thing. As long as you keep holding on to that, you're not going to move. That fear of criticism, that fear of leaving your circle because it's familiar. You know why it's familiar? Because they too have the same pattern. And if you want to break free from that pack of limitation, of that standard, and move to a higher level, a higher quality life, your desire, once again, has to be greater than anything outside of you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. You know, and there may be even people thinking as you're talking to us through those thoughts that people might be having about maybe increasing their income. I thought, you know, there are people that I speak to all the time that work really hard, and they think if they want to multiply or increase their income, they're going to work harder. Okay, so there may be limiting ideas and limiting beliefs that even hold people back from wanting more. Okay, or even, you know, imagining more for themselves because they think of how hard they have to, or how much harder they have to work to create that in their life. It's not true. It's not true. You can work even less than what you're currently working and earn more. Money has nothing to do with how hard you work. And I'm not saying we don't have to work. You got to put in something if you want to get something out. Okay, there is a law of cause and effect, but it's not about how hard you work. I promise you that. I promise you that. And I'm telling you that from my experience. Okay, there's been times when I've worked very, very, very hard. I remember as an electrician, I was working 23-hour shifts sometimes as an electrician, 23 hours in one shift. Okay, it's nearly a whole day. And I thought I was earning good money, but relative to what I have earned in a completely different career, working much, much less, with much less effort, I know that working hard is not the key or the answer to increasing your income. It's not related. Okay, it's not related. And so you have to let go of any limiting beliefs that tell you that not to go after what it is that you want because, and then whatever comes after because is the reason. Forget the reason for now. You only focus on what you want. Okay? Don't worry about how it's going to happen. The how will happen if you just follow this process that we're going to give you to start shattering this pattern. The how will come. Just trust us on that.
Now, I want to add to this, Matt. You know, it's so powerful what you've just said, that this desire, when you have it in you, you do not share it with anybody. Now, that's extremely powerful. You don't go and tell your friends or your family, because here's the thing, they're going to see you as that version of you that you were. And all that seed that you've made this decision, you want to create financial freedom. You made this decision, you're going to 5 times your income, your business within the next 6 months. You've made this irrevocable decision, but it's just like a seed in the ground. It needs to be nurtured. You need to have that right environment. You need that support. That's exactly why we were able to make such headway, and we continue to in such a short time, purely because we don't go to the outside to double check on what they think we should be doing. We have an immersion of the mentorship, of the right environment that is conducive to that new image. You see, you're battling against this former identity that you have, this former version. And you know what? You're also dealing with generational pattern. Some of you are going to make a decision to create financial freedom, and generations before you have struggled financially. You are going to make a decision that you are going to create health and vitality in your body, and there's generations of people that have always had some genetic disease. You want to change something, and if it's generational, you're going to have a little bit of a battle that goes on. So you've got to have courage. You've got to have desire, and you have to be willing. It's not about strain and struggle. You've also got to divorce yourself from the strain and struggle. You got to choose happiness. You got to choose flow, choose ease, choose high work ethic, choose productivity, choose high vibration, choose abundance, choose success, choose love, choose generosity. That you have a choice, but you have to make a decision that you are going to let that past go. Right? And you've got to understand that there's a process to changing the pattern. There's a blueprint. And you know what I've seen? I've seen people follow that blueprint, change their lives, and then I've seen the same person stop following the blueprint and go backwards. You see? Because there is a blueprint to changing the pattern. And if you want to create success in your life, it's absolutely essential that you commit to changing that pattern and becoming that version until that's who you are. That's the essence of who you are. That's your new normal. You see? Now, I want to touch here, Matt, because decision, I've mentioned the word already, but a lot of people are waiting for their circumstances to be ripe before they change. Now, we were not in that position. We were not in a position where we were, right, this seems like the best time to improve our life. We had a 1-year-old, our marriage didn't feel like it was at the best place. Financially, we were like up in the MS. It was not the right time, but guess what it was? It was the perfect time. It was the perfect time because we drew a line in the sand. We put the stake in the ground and said, this is going to change. We are not going to keep doing the same thing and getting the same results. 6 months from now, 12 months from now, we are going to be in a completely different position. Lo and behold, all these changes happen. We were blessed to work alongside Bob Proctor, travel the world. Like, we didn't see what the possibilities were beyond that initial goal. But that led to the next thing and the next thing. And you see, when you make a decision to change your pattern and stick with it and be in the right environment with the right mentorship, that's where things keep getting better and better and better. You know, you don't have to stay in the same spot ever again. You can keep improving your life every single month, every single year. You keep going because you keep working on the cause. And the cause of all of your results, my friends, is you. Just like the cause of my results is me. And it's about taking that full responsibility. And when you can do that, now you're in a position to make a decision. I love this quote here. It says, the greatest stumbling block you will encounter when making important decisions in your life is circumstance. And Napoleon said, circumstances, I make them. You see? Now, you have a choice to change your circumstances. You're going to have to let go of the excuses, the reasons why you are where you are. Are you ready to do that? Some of you aren't. Some of you are. Now, here's the thing. You don't have to wait for things to be bad for you to make a decision to improve them. You can go, you know what? Like, we had a client recently earning multiple 6 figures, so excited to go to the next level. Desire high, motivation high, showing up, all in. Even easier because they have a positive attitude. Their mind is open. Bang, bang, bang. Multiplying results just like that. Or you may just have had enough and you're like, you know what? I am in the same spot again and I'm done and I'm over it. That's okay too. Sometimes you need to get to that point, because if you're in a good position, you probably wouldn't decide to improve either. You see? And so either way, you've got to decide to bet on yourself. Now, here's the thing. We have to do this alone. Like when we make a decision, when I make a decision, I'm not asking Matt. Because if it is a true decision, I wouldn't ask Matt. You see? If it is a true committed decision, I do not need to ask anybody. If there is doubt, I will ask Matt. Do you see the difference? If there is doubt, you will ask your spouse to invest in you, to go for your dream, to do whatever it is that you feel led to do. So your spirit is seeking this expression. And every time, you got to understand, no one else is like you. No one else has the desires you have. No one else has the gifts and talents you have. No one else has the purpose, the exact blueprint purpose that you have, with all these experiences that have shaped you to be who you are. Everything that's happened is been perfect to get you to this place. So when you're asking someone what you think you should be doing, you are doubting yourself. And that doubt is going to keep you stuck. One of the most important things with success is that successful people make decisions quickly. Why? Because they know what they want and they back themselves. And they don't change their mind. Now, their intuition may guide them and lead them to things, but it's a navigation. But they have no problem backing themselves. And the stronger your belief in yourself is, the easier you're going to find it to make decisions. So one of the biggest challenges is self-esteem, self-worth. Now, here's a beautiful thing. You're hearing somebody who had struggled significantly in that area. So I'm going to tell you, you can change the pattern of having low confidence, low self-esteem, depression, anxiety, and create happiness, confidence, empowerment, self-belief, and self-esteem. You can change that pattern. That pattern alone is life-changing. You see? But no one can do it for you. You have to do it, but you don't have to do it alone. And this is what is so essential. And Matt, this is what's helped us by plugging into an environment, plugging into mentorship, plugging into that direction, because we didn't know what to do. In fact, there were times when we thought it was intuition and it was the old program talking. You got to learn what the difference is between your intuition and that old pattern that's trying to pull you back. Oh no, let's tap out today. You're not feeling well. Like it talks to you. It's insidious. Bob said it's like a con man, right? And it really is.
Another thing to touch on with decision, you mentioned about like asking a spouse, what decision you should make or what they think about what decision you're making. The thing is, when you have someone that's close to you, let's say a spouse, a family member, they most likely have the same pattern as you do. The same results, very, very similar results, okay? And you're asking them for their opinion. So they're going to have probably a very similar point of view to you. And their opinion is going to be based on their awareness, which has produced the results that they're getting. And this is why a lot of people stay stuck, because they're making decisions based on where they are and what their results are rather than what it is that they want. And they're letting other people in their environment help them make those decisions. There's this book, Think and Grow Rich, which I think most of you would be familiar with it. And Napoleon Hill, who studied the most successful people in the early 1900s, who was mentored by Andrew Carnegie, okay, he wrote a whole chapter in this book dedicated to decision-making. And there's one point that I want to highlight here where he says the majority of people who fail to accumulate money, okay, he's talking about money here, sufficient for their needs, are generally easily influenced by the opinions of others. Okay, these are people who fail to just pay for the basic necessities. Okay, easily influenced by the opinions of others. They permit the newspapers and the gossiping neighbors to do their thinking for them. And these people are probably not even thinking. They're just letting the pattern run through their mind, okay? It says, opinions are the cheapest commodities on earth. Everyone has a flock of opinions ready to be wished upon anyone who will accept them. If you're influenced, okay, really listen to this. If you're influenced by opinions when you reach decisions, you will not succeed in any undertaking, much less in that of transmuting your own desire into money. This is hugely important. You want to learn, okay, it's something that we have learned. We want to make decisions based on what you want. Want is the only prerequisite to making a decision. Don't worry about what your results are right now. Don't worry about what your results have been up until this point. Don't worry about the conditions and circumstances like Nat was saying. Don't worry about other people's opinions. You ask yourself, do I want it? Do I want this? Whatever this is, when you're making a decision. And then bang, you make it. Once you make that decision, your mind flips onto a whole different frequency of thought, and you start attracting new ways of thinking, new ideas, different people that will help you, conditions, circumstances, like everything starts to change because you'll flip your mind onto a completely different frequency when you make a committed and irrevocable decision. And a decision moves you into action. It's not just something that you say, okay, I'm going to do it, or I'm going to do this, and then nothing changes in terms of your physical body moving into a new action. That's not a decision. That's just words coming out of your mouth. A committed decision changes you. It really changes you. You feel different, and it moves you into action. Okay? Do not worry about what is or what has happened, and don't fall into the trap of asking other people what you should do. It's your life. Okay? And a lot of people who are married will fight me on this. I've had a lot of people over the years, hundreds of people, that have a hard time to grasp that idea that they can make a decision on their own without asking their spouse or without getting their spouse's approval. But the truth is, the ones who do make that decision based on what it is they want, their spouses, like 9 times out of 10, are actually really happy for them, that they've had the confidence to step out and do something for themselves and for their family. Okay? It's really important. So if we have desire as the first key, decision as the second key. These are the keys to shattering the pattern in your life, okay? The reoccurring pattern. We want to break out of that paradigm and that pattern. So these are vitally important, these two things. The third key thing is getting direction. Getting direction and mentorship. This absolutely changed our life. Maybe we can talk about 3 and 4 together. The 4th step is environment, okay? But when we started getting new direction, okay, after we made that decision, we obviously flew over to be with Bob. We immediately changed our environment. The people that we were hanging around with before, like I said, have similar beliefs, similar thoughts and ideas, have similar habits to what we had. Okay, this is why we were in harmony with these people. Okay, lovely people, nothing wrong with the people. But what I'm saying, when you want to break the pattern, you have to get the right direction and put yourself into a new environment that is going to raise your standards. That's going to help you see yourself and your world differently. When we immersed ourselves in that company, the Proctor Gallagher Institute, and worked very closely with Bob Proctor, and we start to see how he thought so differently to most other people that we knew, to all other people. I never met anyone that thought the way he did. I never met anyone that was even his age that was still working, let alone working on such a huge scale. So that started to immediately change my thoughts about me and what I could do and what was possible. The patterns started to be disrupted. Beliefs started to be challenged. And this can be uncomfortable, but it can also be help you make the biggest breakthroughs in your life. When you see people progressing at a fast clip and you think, oh my God, like it doesn't have to be slow. It makes you start questioning yourself, your life, what you have been doing, what you think is normal. Normal is just what you've accepted. That's normal, but everyone's normal is different. Okay, so you want to get the direction from people or someone who is at this level where they think differently to you and they are creating the results that you want to create. Okay, absolutely life-changing. Now, did you want to speak a bit more about getting that right direction, how much it made a huge impact on us? Because I saw you change. Obviously, we both changed. You're a naturopath, right? And you didn't go and hire someone who was a naturopath to help you become a coach, right? You got someone who was a coach to help you become a coach, and someone who had proven results in this industry. So you got the right direction, right? And like I was saying earlier, within 3 months, we had both. No, you changed careers like immediately, but within 3 months, I changed career. And by the end of our first year, we were one of the top in this business within the Proctor Gallagher Institute, one of the top 5. Like, that was a huge change, but having the right direction had a massive part and impact on us in that area.
Absolutely. I am so grateful for all the mentors that I've had, continue to have, because it's absolutely essential to go to the next level. Think about it. If you want to get better, like I was training for a half marathon, right? For me to go from running 1 kilometer and struggling 2 kilometers and hitting 21 kilometers in a row, I needed help. I was trying to figure it out on my own, and all I was doing was busting my knee and it was getting inflamed. I needed to get the right guidance. And I found someone. The same thing with my income. I was in a repetitive cycle at the time, being a mom, earning $15,000 a year and feeling so stuck. I couldn't get out of this rut. And I found someone who was earning tens of millions of dollars a year, was doing what they loved, helping people, inspiring them. And I went to learn. I wanted to improve my income. I wanted to feel empowered. I felt like I was not really living. I was just existing. And so when I made a decision that I was going to not just do this for me, but do this for my family, that was my driving force. And that still is my driving force. I was able to keep climbing these mountains and show up even when the old pattern was trying to pull me back. And by having a mentor and having that environment, they kept feeding this new image of me. You see, they were seeing me from my goal. They weren't like everyone else in my life that was seeing Nat from the old version. You see, all I needed was one person in my life to hold me to a higher standard, to hold me to a higher image of who I could be, and if I slipped, they caught me. That's the beautiful thing. They had the awareness. They weren't in my position. So they weren't in the thinking that I was in. They had a different level of thinking. And in one moment, literally, I would shift, bang, I'd let in a client within 5 seconds of that shift because my vibration would change. You see, these patterns keep us thinking a certain way, keep us feeling a certain way, and keep us behaving the certain way. Call that a frequency. And so by having a mentor in my life, I was being held to a higher frequency. And therefore, whenever the program would try and pull me down, boom, they would help snap me back here. And that new frequency has to become the dominant one, that new image, those new habits. See, we've got to think, feel, and act from this version of ourselves, whichever that goal is. Now, I didn't even know I had goals in my life, but my mentors helped me embody the goals. Anyone can set a goal, but achieving a goal, that's a lawful process. And I needed to learn how to follow the laws, how to work in harmony with the laws to create more effortless success. That's what a mentor does. It helps collapse the time it takes for you to achieve your goal. If I didn't have a mentor and I didn't make that decision, I don't even want to think about where I'd be right now, honestly. But I'm so grateful that I keep betting on myself, that I keep choosing in, and that I keep taking these uncomfortable actions. Because you see, when we're creating big change, the bigger the change, the bigger the discomfort. Let's face it. The smaller the change, the smaller the discomfort. Let's say, here's an example, right? My parents had been going to the same holidays every year for 16 years, the same place, the same type of accommodation, everything, right? And here I come along and I make a decision. I want to fly business class. I want to go to luxury places and I want to go overseas. Now, I had to change even that image, the guilt that comes from that. What a waste of money. All of these, see, they're the same thoughts that keep everyone else stuck where they are. But by having a mentor who was living this lifestyle, all of a sudden I felt worthy. Oh, they were transferring. Well, this is normal, not just once a year, but every few months, you see. And all of a sudden it was feeding my desire. My desire was being fueled not just by the work that I was doing and the program that I was following to change the pattern, but also they were holding me to that image. Their normal was slowly becoming my new normal. And we've got to let go in order to let in. I had to let go of that older thinking, keeping me there. I can repeat the same pattern as my parents, and they can repeat the same patterns as their parents, but I didn't want that. You see? And so if you want to go beyond where you've been, beyond where anyone before you has been that you know, and you want to make this your new normal, then it's absolutely essential that you get the right direction. And a mentor will absolutely help you get there. Can you do it on your own? Sure. It's probably going to take you 10 times longer, if not 20 times longer, and it's going to be harder, right? Because trial and error, and you're trying to figure it out. And you know what I find? People that are the most stubborn and have low self-worth try and do it on their own because they want to prove something. They've got something to prove. And here's the beautiful thing. When you let go of that ego of trying to be right, of trying to do it yourself, you make it so much easier. And in a shorter period of time, with far less effort, you'll create significantly better results. That is life-changing. I think that's just common sense. You want to improve anything, get a coach, get someone that knows what they're doing in specialized knowledge. Don't come to me for mechanic stuff. I'm not going to give you any of that. I don't know anything about cars, but I will tell you how to rewire your subconscious mind and increase your income. You know, I just got a text message on this call from one of our clients in our elite program saying, Nat, I've just got my cleaner. She's leveraging herself. Her business is growing and her lifestyle's improving. So now she's having someone come and clean her house. She says, oh, it's so amazing. What did she write here? Let me read it. I have a cleaner in my house and I'm sitting here doing goal achieving tasks instead. So bizarre, but so good. And I know she's uncomfortable because this old pattern of hers was I do everything. I clean, I cook, I work, I look after kids. But for her to go to another level, she's got to let go of things. You see, she's changing her pattern. So all of a sudden, she can spend more quality time with her kids. She's earning more money, her house being looked after, and she's doing more of the things that raise her vibration, that are in harmony with her desire. And she's doing less of those things that are monotonous, that are not conducive to the growth. You see what I mean? And it's a process, but you've got to do it with a positive attitude.
See, and even what you've just shared, I love what you shared there with that message, Nat, that there was a time when we first started doing that because that's the way we saw in the environment that we put ourselves in. That's what they were doing. They weren't, the people that were hanging around, the new people, were not doing everything. The family I grew up in, we did everything, cooking, the cleaning, the building, the renovating, we did absolutely everything, right? And things took a long time, okay? But when we started to put ourselves in this new environment, new people, and seeing that they didn't do everything, like they were focused on what they loved doing, what they were really good at, and then they leveraged themselves. They had assistants, they had cleaners, they had cooks, they had all these people that were supporting them and helping them so they could keep growing. And the rate at which they grew was much faster because of that focus. Okay. And this is something that we pass on to our clients. And like you said, it's so great to see and hear that through even just associating with us and being a part of our environment, that trickles down into them, becomes their normal, right? But our family members, like when we first started doing this, it was almost a bit awkward to tell our family members that we had a cleaner or that we had a nanny and we had all these things because it wasn't normal, right? It wasn't a normal part of the conditioning or the environment that we grew up in, okay? And understand this, when it comes to environment plays the biggest part, apart from genetics, plays the biggest part in who you become. 96 to 98% of our behaviors are subconscious. 96 to 98%. Okay. And so we are operating through this program, which creates the patterns. And they're very, very similar to the people that we grew up with, the people that we've surrounded ourselves with as we were growing up. Okay. And they're not bad. Some of them might be really good, really healthy, really, helping you to grow in a great way, depending on the ideas or the area of your life. But there's some of them that are really limiting you. Okay. And if you keep that in your environment, then that's going to keep rubbing off on you because that's normal. It's accepted. And anything that's accepted on a subconscious level is a part of you. And so you keep repeating that through your behavior and then producing it in your results. But when you start surrounding yourself with new environment, put yourself in this new environment, all of a sudden you become aware of things and your standard raises. And then you help other people that are in your environment to raise their standard if they're open to it. Like my son, Oliver, he plays soccer. He played at the local community club here in our area. But when we, a few years in, wanted to raise his standard, we took him to an academy where he's getting, coached and mentored by someone who's one of the best, or if not the best, in the state, right? It's completely changed the standards. He's training 3 days a week now instead of 1 day a week, right? He's not getting coached by me in soccer. Like my expertise is not in soccer, although I was helping the team. He's got someone of a high standard and a high awareness that's helping him with soccer, because that is the area that he wants to go in, right? So you want to immerse yourself in an environment that's conducive to your growth, that's conducive to you becoming the person that you want to become, that's living the life that you want to live, that's experiencing the results that you want to experience. This is vitally important.
I just love that. It's essential. And if you really want to create a quantum leap, not incremental progress, a quantum leap, then it's absolutely essential that you have an abrupt change of your habits, an abrupt change of your environment, an abrupt change of your thinking. You have to have an abrupt change in your vibration if you are ready and serious about creating a quantum leap. You see, now the beautiful thing is you can have it. If you can imagine it, you can have it. Everything is already here. But you've got to understand, you have to lock in to that life. You have to lock in. And this is what we help you with. A lot of you don't even know what you would love to live, how you'd love to live, the kind of holidays or the income or the lifestyle or the relationships with different people in your life. This is what we work with you on, to get crystal clear of the life that you want so that you can align the thinking and your behavior, your habits to express that. And all of a sudden, you are waking up in this world where you're happy, you're doing what you love, you're earning what you want, you created freedom, time freedom. You are spending your days doing what you love with who you love. And that is absolutely essential that you have clarity and that you take those steps every day to become this person. Now, I don't know about you, but I do know you are going to have to give up all the reasons and the excuses of why you can't in order to have what you want. You see, and all these insecurities and fears and doubts that are already coming up, I can hear them coming up for you, right? You have to choose to move through it. Avoiding it is only going to keep you where you are. You know what happens? Either you are changing the pattern or you are reinforcing the current one. Because nothing stays the same, exactly the same. So you either are moving forward and progressing, or you are making that current program more normal. So what are you going to decide? That is the question.
That's a perfect segue into the fifth key thing here. And that's consciously and deliberately altering the pattern or the paradigm, or we can say the program. It's a subconscious conditioning. You want to consciously and deliberately alter it. Okay. See, if you've got a negative habit that's producing results that you don't want, eliminating the habit is not going to work, because you don't just eliminate something. You eliminate a negative habit, another negative habit will replace it automatically. You want to consciously and deliberately replace those negative patterns or negative habits with a new habit that will directly replace it. So you want to have an ongoing process to keep rewiring and replacing those subconscious paradigms, patterns, and programs that are creating the results. That is the primary cause of your results. Subconscious beliefs and habits. Like I said earlier, 96 to 98% of our expectations, our beliefs, our habits, and our behaviors are actually subconscious. Only 2 to 4% are conscious. So with anything that we want, we have to rewire the subconscious mind like we've already got it. So that means if you want to increase your income, okay, as an example, if you want to increase your income, going around and saying that money's not that important, it doesn't mean that much to me, or it's not everything, like that is not going to help you to replace that pattern of increasing your income. Because all you're doing is reaffirming the belief system that's got you the results that you currently got. Okay? It could be with your health. It's every area of your life. If you look at your results, that is telling you what the current paradigm or program currently is. It's a reflection. The good results and the results that you don't like. So when you identify the result that you want to improve, okay, you have to then become aware of what are 1 or 2 ideas that are fixed in your subconscious mind right now that you need to upgrade. And then you have to consciously and deliberately upgrade that software. Like if you have a phone, an iPhone, or an Android or something, you have to constantly upgrade that software so it operates at its best, right? The latest. Well, you have to do the same thing with your mind. If you want to improve your results, you have to upgrade that programming that's in your subconscious. Okay. And this is what I fell so in love with 8.5 years ago when we met Bob Proctor. He showed us exactly what to do to upgrade any idea that you've currently got accepted that's producing results that you don't want, and how to upgrade it so you can create the results that you want. It's not rocket science. It's simple. It's not necessarily easy though. But like if you follow these 5 key steps that we've spoken about today, desire, if you have the desire, if you're ready to make a committed decision, you're ready to get some sort of direction, mentorship, okay, and you immerse yourself in a new environment, okay, and you consciously and deliberately work on altering this program that's creating the recurring pattern, there's no way that you can't shatter that pattern. There's absolutely no way. And you'll see how you keep changing over and over and over again. And you'll look back in 6 months from now or 12 months from now, and you won't know how. It's like you'll need a telescope to see how far you've come. You can change that much. And most people will be hard to believe what I just said. Almost might sound ridiculous to them that you can change that much, because most people, year after year, they're much the same person. They've created much the same results as the last year. That is a pattern. But when you start recognizing and applying what we're sharing, and you work on shattering the pattern and creating a new one, you will create these quantum leaps in your life, and people will be wondering what you did to change as much as you've changed. It's absolutely incredible.
I'm so excited for those of you who are really ready, right? Because you have an incredible opportunity right now to have 2 coaches helping you to change the pattern and really create freedom in your life. The life that you want is literally a decision away. One idea that you accept can change your life. Just one idea. The idea, I don't have enough. And then you have the idea that you accept, I always have so much money, so much happiness, so much time. I have so much. That is one idea. Do you realize that if you accept that in your subconscious mind, it is life-changing. Now we're going to work with you on changing multiple ideas to create a life of freedom, happiness, fulfillment, and abundance. Now, I don't know what your desire is, but you know what it is. You've got to let it come up and you got to make a decision. That is something Matt and I cannot do for you. Bob could not do it for me. I had to make an irrevocable decision and draw a line in the sand. And at the time, I didn't have the resources. Now, that's the other thing. Some of you might go, but I don't have this, but what if this and what, I don't have enough money. Those were the exact thoughts that were coming up. And you know what the person on the other phone told me when I booked a discovery call with them to find out how I could create more freedom and change my pattern? They said, Nat, those are the exact same thoughts that are keeping you getting the exact same results. Now, you're either going to leave this phone call and go back to that former life, or you are going to make a decision right here, right now, with what you have to transform your life. And I'm going to tell you that it was uncomfortable. Yes, change is uncomfortable, right? And it can get messy as well in the middle. But oh my God, is it worth it in the end? When you're living in freedom, you're out of that bondage, you're out of that stagnation and stuckness. And now you've created more freedom. That's your new normal. How amazing is that? And then you make it even better and better and better. Okay? Now, I'm going to give every one of you an opportunity to go all in. But here's the thing. Our coaching is not for everybody. Our coaching is for those who are serious, committed, and open. We're not here to give energy to your excuses, nor your program. Because here's the thing. There might be a lot of other coaches, a lot of other people in your life that are already doing that for you. We're here to hold you to a higher standard of you, a higher version of you, a more rich, abundant, prosperous, happy, fulfilled version of you. So if we catch you calling, speaking, and buying into your excuses, we're not going to do that because that has kept you where you are. So if you are committed and you're serious, then I want you to comment under this video. I am ready to shatter the pattern. You're going to have 2 ways to claim your discovery call for us to help you. You will either speak to Matt or me. All right? That's our commitment to you. We are here to help you. Right? Now, write down in the comments, I am ready to shatter the pattern, and we will reach out to you. On another note, I will also post a link in here for those who are ready and can claim their discovery call and schedule the time right away. Here's the thing. You have a very small window right now to go beyond the paradigm, to go beyond the pattern. You see, right now we've helped crack it open. If you don't take the opportunity and strike while the iron is hot, it's like this phone call, this video never happened. And that is why so many people are so close to changing their life and they retreat. So if you feel this call, if you feel that desire, then I want you to do it now. I want you to type it in the chat now. I'm ready to shatter the pattern. We will reach out to you. Forget the next steps. Just take the first step. That is all you need to do when you're changing your life. You take the next step. Forget all the other steps in between. Forget the how, the when, the where, the what. Nothing else matters. You have to take that next step and don't ask anybody else. Trust yourself. Your intuition is strong and guiding you. Okay? If this resonates with you, you'll feel it. If this doesn't, you wouldn't have watched it until the end. Okay? You would have unsubscribed from our email list. You would have left the page. But I know if you're watching this, there is something inside of you that knows what we are saying is the truth. And if you're ready, forget what everyone else is doing. Forget your current results and all the questions that you want answered right here, right now. You have to go for it. Nothing changes without a decision. And a decision isn't a decision unless you've acted on it. Okay? We're here to help you. We're going to support those of you who are willing and ready to go all in. All right? Matt, I'm going to leave it over to you. Is there anything final words that you want to say?
I do. And it's something based on what you were just saying. Like, when we are here to help you, and when it comes to helping you, sometimes we're going to say things that we need to say to help you get you over the line. And what I mean by that is to break this pattern. I was speaking to a friend on Sunday and she's telling me all these problems. And then she said, she thanked me for not just telling her what she wants to hear, to telling her what she needs to hear. And that's exactly what we're going to do with you. When we speak with you, we're not going to tell you what you want to hear. We're not there like family trying to, just tell you all the things that you need or that you want to hear. We're going to tell you what you need to hear to help you get to that next level in your life. That's what a good coach will do. They'll be honest with you, and we'll be honest with you, and we will help you take you to that next level. It doesn't matter what happens after that complimentary discovery session that's talking about. What's the most important thing is that you show up and you're ready and you're committed to getting to that next level. And then we'll tell you exactly what you need to do to get there. Okay. I want to thank you for joining us. Like Nat said, type it in the comments. You're more than welcome to direct message us. And I think Nat's going to post a link somewhere. But if you'd like some help, we're ready to help you. And I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.